I'll record. You guys can start asking me, and then I'll go in the document. I think there's a couple questions in there.
Okay. Yeah, I had some in the document, so.
Oh, you want to say them to me, or you want me to read them?
I'll just read them. The first one was, let's see. I'm having problems or judgment in the wheel, finding the other side of the stick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if what I'm putting in the middle is wishful thinking.
Yeah.
And like, I know you already did examples of eating too much chocolate and like the casting didn't go well, but I'm just wondering, like, some other examples of maybe like didn't feel free in class, or I'm scared not to make enough money, or so and so challenged me and I didn't like it. I don't know why I'm having such a problem, because it feels like I'm like, it's like aspirational as opposed to like what's true.
Okay, let's look at them one by one. So you had 3 examples, right? I didn't feel free in class. So let's say that's the situation for yesterday, right? Then you draw your circle, and the other end of that stick, like yesterday I didn't feel free in class. I love it when I am free. That's not wishful thinking, because you're not always stuck in class, right? So sometimes you're free and you love it. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's most of the time. I mean, I don't know if you're talking about what we do or if it's another class, but what I know of you, you're mostly free, and you might get stuck in your head because you think you should be more free, but you could go to most of the time I'm free in class and I love it when I'm free, or I know I'm at 80% free, even if I'm always 20% stuck, I'm 80% free and I love that. So it's not in the future. It's not wishful thinking. It's true. Okay. So that's for one. And tell me if you still have some resistance.
Yeah. And then just to like kind of spin off that, a couple of things would
be like, so what would be more accurate for you? Would it be most of the time I'm free in class and I love that feeling? Is that?
No, normal. The truth would be like, that's the whole thing. That's like, I wish, but most of the time I don't feel free.
Okay.
And I have no concept of how free I am or not. I mean.
And have you felt free?
Yeah. And I guess in more, I'm talking about a different class, like especially when it comes to text, you know, like,
so you like a traditional acting class. Okay.
Yeah.
So have you felt, so you could go to this one and say, I know, like if your relationship to this training is, when I train my freedom, I'm very aware of how free I am. And if that is true, then that's truth again. It's not wishful thinking. Right? So let's say, would it be that? Would you put that in there? Or would you stay within that other class and say?
I think it doesn't really matter, because it's all the same. It just is like, how does it spin out? So what's true?
Okay, so when I'm working on my freedom consistently, I really enjoy my freedom, for example, so that it's even active, right? So then some bars could be, you want to start with something really general and go more and more specific. So you could start with, I'm really attracted to freedom. I'm very aware that I love working on freedom. I think freedom is really important for an actor. I'm dedicating a lot of my time working on freedom. I'm really passionate about that sensation. I really admire actors who are free. So see, I'm still saying general, I'm getting it going. And when you feel that it's going, then you can start moving it to you. Like, I really feel how much I'm expanding the more I'm working out. I'm really eager to find freedom in text. I'm really eager to bring all of that beautiful life that I'm finding inside of me and bring it to characters. I can't wait to go to my next class and be more free. So that you go from wishful thinking to eagerness, because you've kind of warmed yourself up to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
All right, so let's take the next one. Which one was it? I'm scared I'm not making enough money. Okay, so it's like, for example, yesterday I got present to the fact that I'm scared that I'm not making enough, right? So on the other side of the stick, and we all have that fear, right? Because no matter how much you make, I know millionaires who panic about money because they have a different lifestyle and they have to, spend a lot of money to maintain it, right? So I'm scared I'm not making enough money. The other end of the stick is, I don't know, I made $3,000 last month, and it's good to feel I'm capable of making money. It's not wishful thinking, it's true. Whether it's 3,000, 3 million, 300, whatever it is that you made, right?
Okay. So I don't have to feel like, oh, like this is a really positive thing and like, good job, Debbie.
No, that's not it. No,
okay.
It's really just the other end of the stick. I ate too much chocolate. The other end of the stick is sometimes I don't, and I eat very green stuff, and I love that. It's just that, looking at the other side, not looking how I can turn that and make it positive. No.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. You need the third one, or you're clear?
Good. Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
I don't have a hard time going on the positive. It's going to the negative that I have a hard time.
Yeah.
So I do love the wheel.
You're the reversed situation.
Hey.
Yeah. Okay, so if you girls don't have any current questions, I'll go in the document. Yeah? Or tell me.
My other questions, yeah, since no one else is, I don't know if anyone else has any, but it's in the document. It says, so is it normal after starting the journey that I would at least feel like I'm going backwards in my freedom when being on set or castings or class conversations? And would there be like more doubts and insecurities seem like they surfaced this week? Or after it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Resistance goes up in the first third, I would say. Resistance goes up because you're touching it. So resistance is there because it thinks it needs to protect you from something, right? So you keep it there because it's the safe thing to do. But once you go look at it, it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm here for a reason. Let me do my job. So it kind of, the shield builds a little stronger to make sure you stay safe. So that's normal.
Okay.
Yeah. Christina says, resistance as physical issues too. I also had a medical issue earlier in the week that came from nowhere. Yes, definitely can be connected. Well, Debbie, you've experienced, I don't know if you want to share it, but I remember in the first journey you took, you want to share it?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
We're all family here. Yeah. My some mental shit watches, but yeah, I had a long lull in just very sporadic cycle, and I hadn't had a cycle in a while. And after doing the first journey, it showed up.
Yeah.
I was
taking care of so much stuff. So it can, as the blocks move through, they can kind of gather some toxicity around it, so you can get sick. You remember Valerie, Debbie, who was in your journey, every single time he would have a headache. Every single day. He wouldn't have a headache, and then he would turn it on, get in the live, and he would have a migraine. Because it was so difficult for him to go in these emotions that the tension it created in him was big. So yes, getting a cold, being sick, it's moving so much stuff. It's like when you're doing a cleanse, or I practically, when I was creating this program, I wanted to call it acting cleanse, but no one would have understood. So, but it is kind of that. Yeah.
Well, my concern is that it's great that you're sharing that, is that how do you know it might be connected, it's most likely connected, but when do you know it's not? And when do you know, like, when it hurts? Like, is it pushing smart or not? Like, because it's still health. So if you have a panic attack, which can look like all the symptoms of a heart attack, then you're like, hey, what do I do? Do I keep? That might be it, but that might not. So it's just.
Well, well, you want to see a doctor if you're concerned about having a heart attack. That's the first thing I would do, right? And I'm not a doctor. I know that it will, well, let's say that in your case or in other actors' case, where you have a tendency to go in the positive and to not go in the negative. And part of this is saying, let's go and see what it is to be human and what it is to feel. It's not just being positive or not just being negative. It's being okay with both, because they're part of being human. Mm-hmm. And if you've had a strong habit of cultivating the positive, the resistance to go in the negative will be bigger, and therefore can trigger panic, because there's a reason why you stayed away from it, because it was scary for you. There's a reason why you cultivated the positive that much, because it was scary. So it can unearth the very raw reason why you left that place in the first place. But you can't really leave that place because it's human. So you can go as far as possible in the positive or in the negative. Your duality is still present. You can't escape being human. It's just, it's just who we are. It's both. And they're both beautiful. There's nothing wrong with, pure joy, and there's nothing wrong with being angry and dark. There's nothing wrong. Our thinking that is wrong is making it a problem. But there is nothing wrong. If you can let it go through you, it is nothing. It's just atoms moving. That's all. And then we give it meaning and story, and we make it thick and sticky, but it's nothing.
Yeah. There is something that happened, if I may share, like last night after watching the replay of the class.
Yeah.
I had the chest pain, and what kept coming in my head, in my dreams, and in my body during the nights, recycle.
Yeah. And
then I would have a moment where I hurt, and then, oh, I found it, I recycle, it's gone, and then it comes back, recycle. And I think it's not about learning how to recycle, it's about believing that it's going to recycle.
Yeah, but it's also a choice, because when I say recycle or use it, it's really building the habit of just being who you are. And let's say, for example, that at the heart of your being is panic. Mm-hmm. If you can be with that, if you can just be with that and know that it's safe for you to experience those emotions, imagine how rich that is as a uniqueness, as an actress.
Yeah, for sure.
Like De Niro built a career on being angry, all his life that's what he built his whole career on. And I don't know, like I'm thinking of Hugh Grant is like panicking all the time. And it's because he is comfortable with that essence that he is selling it. So we're not selling good versions of being a human. We're selling being human. So you have to be able to, as an actor, because that's the choice you made, right? You didn't make the dentist choice. As an actor, that's your responsibility to say, okay, I'm fine with whatever it is that I am, because I know that if I am, you are, and I'm just having a little more of expression of that. But if I can be free in that, then I liberate you with it. That's the magic of the mythology, and that's why we go to the movies. That's why we pay, I don't know, 10 or 15 bucks to go see a movie with disturbed people, because then it means we're okay too. And so for that, you have to be brave enough to embrace it and endure it.
I think I agree, and I admire those actors. Now for a female actress.
I have a question.
Who would you do that?
Oh, is someone there that we don't see? Oh, maybe. Okay, wait a second, because your sound is coming late, and we're in the middle of Caroline. Just in a second, yeah.
I just find that I just came to a realization that it's way easier. No, it's not easier. Be who you are, yes, but like I believe like men are known for certain things, and women are known for different things, and I think. Yeah, yeah, whatever. I'll come back to it.
Okay, no problem. Yeah. Oh, Maëlys disappeared. Maybe if your connection is choppy, yeah, let's try now. If not, you can write your question in the chat like Christina did.
Yeah, it would be great. Okay, so you know what? I performed on Wednesday night and I felt very free on stage, and it was good because I could use all my impulses. But then yesterday, I was very creative and everything, but today I had so much, I don't know, I was lacking confidence and everything. When I did the 2 euros exercise, I was like, oh my God, I will never succeed in doing that, and I will, and so, like, I don't know if I'm digging into resistance, but it's hard now. And tomorrow I'm still performing in another play, and I hope I will be free.
Well, so what the resistance, there's a couple of things in what you're saying. So what the journey does in the beginning is it's unearthing all the resistance you have, right? Because confronting yourself with the 2 euro exercise is bringing out literally all your shit. So it's okay that it does that, because the first step in walking through that is for you to be in touch with it. And I'm not sure if you're hearing me because you look frozen, but you'll see the recording. So the exercises in the journey are bringing out your resistance. So it's more palpable. So, but it is the first step to you knowing it's there, then willing to go through, then surrendering to it, then embracing it, then honoring it, and then partying with it. You know, so there's different kind of levels of being okay with it. So you might have not heard most of what I said, but you'll hear it in the recording. Maybe. Sorry about that. And when you perform today or tomorrow, go again with what you have. That is freedom. So if you feel resistant, go and be resistant. Open yourself up as resistant. So don't try and be like, oh, I'm open. No, open the resistance. Let your body feel the resistance. And that will open you. Not to be like this. It will open you to be you. And if you have anger, resistance, and frustration, it's beautiful if you can give that.
Yeah.
And if that's not what's needed for your character at all, trust me, if you can be comfortable with it, then you're just dealing with energy, and you can take that energy and bring it to wherever you want. Okay, so I'm guessing that's an okay, because you don't have connection anymore. Any more live questions, or should I go to the document?
This question, it basically is the same. I think so surfing on Melise and what I had written. So if that resistance, it's all about it's gotta be right? And you kind of touched on it in today's session, but if all that resistance, if I'm feeling all this resistance, and you're saying use it, what if that is so opposite of what this is written in the story, and that you're basically
that's your thought. That's your thought already now. Imagine the role is not there, and you're already thinking of what if it's opposite, but which is fine. But I just want to show you where the not using the resistance is coming from. It's coming from an imagination of one day I'll get a role and I won't be able to do this. So it's a lot of levels far from reality. But so what actually happens when you have something that you want to be using and the role is opposite, is that you're not going to recycle just the day before. And let me give you a concrete example. In another group, a woman said, my mother was sick. I was worried and sad, and there was a problem with her health. And I had an audition where it was a commercial, and I had to smile all the time and make some soup kind of thing. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to use that. And it didn't work at all because I didn't want to smile. I just wanted to cry. So that's what you're worried about, right? This does not happen if you have an open instrument. So she never trains, this woman. She never trains. She recognizes that she never trains. And then she says, I'm going to use the tool then. Those tools are not a method. They are tools that open your instrument. And if you have an ambition of working at a higher level, like an athlete wants to go to the Olympic, or a doctor wants to be a great doctor, or a dentist wants to be a great dentist, you train your instrument. if your discipline is the art of being alive, you want to make sure that you can connect with the life inside your body. If you never train it and try to just be down for whatever I'm feeling now, oh, how is that going to help me for what they need in the character? You're not going to be able to do that because you haven't trained. But if you do train, which I know you do, if you do train regularly / constantly, then you getting into your head, for instance, specifically what you're dealing with, and going into the resistance is just getting into your energy. Once you're with that head and that resistance, and you can be with it and you train that, it's open. And then you take that and you're like, okay, I'm going to bring it there or there or there. You paint with it. It's as if you were opening the pot of blue as a painter. You're just opening yourself up when you go in with your head. And you're doing this every day. So when you do this every day, the plasticity, like the fluidity of your emotions is just moving. It really is like, I can go wherever I want. Remember, we'll get to that in this journey, but you've seen that already. It's the feeling of being on top of the mountain. If I'm on top of the mountain, I can go down that route, I can go down that route, I can go down that route. I can feel everything at the same time. So we will train you guys enough, and you should continue to train your instruments so that they're available for you after the journey, so that you can be on top of the mountain, meaning that you're so open that you can feel anything at the same time. It is just energy. It's not, I have a problem with my head, or I have a problem with this. It's, oh, I'm in my head. All right, let's go in there. Let's go in there. Oh, I'm open. And as you're open, everything else is present. When everything else is present, you're like, the feeling is like you're on top of a mountain, and you can cry, laugh, sing, dance, whatever. It's all present. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But saying that, with actors that train, I have never heard a situation, funnily enough, where you can't use it. Never. Because let's take that situation of this woman who had her mother having health issues. If she was trained and used to just going into her emotions, well, she would do that, and she'd be like, okay, well, I have a trained instrument. I'm just going to go into and really feel the pain of my mother, maybe have something happening to her, and me being sad and me being worried. And I'm feeling that, and I'm feeling that, and I'm feeling that. And I'm in the audition room, and I get the text, oh, I have to make soup, and I have to be smiling all the time. All right, I'm going to make soup for my mother, and that's going to heal her, and that's going to make her feel better. And it makes me feel so happy that the presence that I'm putting in the soup is going to make her feel my energy, and it's going to heal her. And that's it. And you would have thought, untrained, unwarmed up, these are two different things. You can't be sad and laugh about soup. That's when you look at it with your head. When you get into your instrument and in the energy, everything is connected. I can be sad and suddenly think, I can help this person. I can heal her with my soup. Let's make the soup. And the more joy I can put in that soup, the better it'll heal her. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, let me look at the questions, but you can interrupt me whenever you want if you have live questions. I'll take the little ones first, because the first one is very long, and I'm afraid of it. All right, Pablo here. I'm a bit confused with the 7 whys, and that made me not experience the shamanic why, where I didn't feel anything but tension in my neck and shoulders. But after the wheel exercise, it was so interesting that my neck was less tense. Okay. So Pablo, with the 7 why, what I recommend then is that you watch the first video again and you put yourself through the exercise. What the 7 why wants to do is to get to the bottom of why you act. And not from a place of thinking, but really from a place of heart, of asking yourself and discovering why it is that you act. And so we ask you 7 times, which is a symbolic number, and we get to the bottom of why you act. And then when you do your shamanic breathing, you want to relate to that 7th why, not the first 7, not the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but the 7th. So let's say that your shamanic why is, or your 7th why is that you want to let people experience the fullness of being an emotional being. Let's say that is what your 7th why is. You want the audience and human beings to really be in touch with how beautifully emotional we are, right? So when you do your shamanic breathing, at the end of it, when you take the deep breath, you hold it and then you let it out, you're connecting now more with your body, because your body is open because of the breathing, with doing that, with seeing that, with influencing people to discover their emotional being, with communicating that, with sharing that, with you being on a stage and people seeing and feeling their instrument open. So let your imagination take over when you're with the shamanic why. You're really feeling it in your bones. That's the experience that they're going for.
But regarding that, Joe,
say that again.
At the very last end, you have to think about the why, or you have to think it through all the kinds of the breathing.
So you do just breathing, pure, and then at the end, when you take a deep breath in and you hold it, connect with your 7th why. That's when you do it, and you're gone. So I'm not sure you heard it again, but you'll get it. Not during the breathing. And if it happens during the breathing, it's fine. But you know, that's when you should do it. If it hasn't happened before. Okay. Another question regarding the shamanic breathing. Does it need to be inhaled through the nostrils and exhale through the mouth, or can I inhale, exhale through my nostrils? Preferably in through the nose, out through the mouth. Ophelia. After going through the shamanic breathing exercise, I'm not sure if my 7th why is strong enough. Can you help me with the exercise, please? Yes. So, Ophelia, I suggest that because the 7th why can move during the journey, because you're having more access to who you really are and to hearing what's happening in there and what you're about. So it's okay that your 7th why changes. So go back to the first video and do it again. The idea is that you're asking yourself, why do I act? And really come from a place of being present, not trying to figure out the answer, but just take a couple breaths, land in your chair. When you're present, then you ask yourself, why do I act? And then you keep asking yourself, why is that important to me? Why is that important to me? Why is that important to me? Until you get to the 7th. Okay. Caroline, can we please pin the important links and homeworks on the Facebook page? So to my knowledge, Caroline, you can only pin one thing. And as soon as you pin another one, then the first one goes away. What you can do in Facebook is there's a little search bar, and you can type what you're looking for, and then it will show it to you. You don't have to scroll down. Caroline again, is it all right to trigger the sound and movement with a musical instrument or by listening to a song? At first, according to the true feeling we have, I find that music awakes my body and triggers my senses, and I'd stop it once I got the circulation going. Thanks. We will actually do an exercise with some different stimulations within the sound and movement. So yes, you can definitely do that, and we'll do visual stuff, tactile, some smells, some music. So we'll do that, and you'll see how deeper it gets you, and you'll be able to remember what triggers you the most. Debbie, we covered. Oh, now let's go. Any questions in the live? Christina, Marlies, you have another one? Oh, Caroline says in there, I have to go, but my questions are, can we pin? Yeah, we've done that. Reminder that we will have a Google Access link as well as the daily homework. Okay, let me read this carefully. I have to go, but my questions are, can we pin the most important links we need to revisit all the time? Yeah, so as I said, we can't pin more than one thing. Also, my other question was about the use of music. Yeah, so we addressed all of that. So good. Any questions? Shall I go to the big one in the Google Doc? Good? Yeah. Okay. All right. So Nina is asking, okay, there is instantly, directly so much resistance coming up straight away. She wrote it in French, tout de suite. I am panicking about that now. The video from yesterday is registered and it's watchable. I'm not sure what that means. I can't go back and undo it. Correct what I don't like. So my first question is, how public is these sessions we have? Will it be seen by the people who are in the group only? What does it mean to have auditors? Who is having access to the videos? And who is reading these questions except you, Joe? This is all about paranoia and strange guilty conscience things and shame about, for example, my English and mistakes I could make in writing and speaking English, for example. Okay, the second question, so let me first address that, because it does look like it's a concern that you have, right, Nina? So I'm going to put everything on the internet and it's going to be viewed by the whole world. So no, these videos, so I'm not sure if you're talking about the ones that you put on Facebook, because you say, I'm panicking about the video from yesterday is registered and watchable. I can't go back and undo it. So when you upload in Facebook, you want to make sure that you do your live and you put it in this group, the 33 days journey. If you don't tell the live that you're putting it in the group, it might go on your wall, in which case the whole world would see it, the whole entire 7 billion people. So that's the first thing. In terms of the rest of these videos, so we have the live participants and then we have auditors, which you have done before too, Nina, right? You've been an auditor of a live session. And that's it. There's no me putting that online. And I would like to address that point because it's great that you're bringing it up. We're trying to make sure that whatever it is that you have that's human, you get comfortable with it. Why? Because you're an actor. So you want to get comfortable with it to such a point that you can share it, which is the point of acting, right? You want to be seen, because acting in your bedroom doesn't provide any fulfillment or any impact. Mythology, the main point of mythology has always been to connect human beings. So you're going through something, and because you're going through something and you understood it, you make a story out of it and you play it, and people look at it and get some learning from it and understand their life a little bit better with it and can go back home with something that you gave them because you allowed yourself to go through it. So acting is really about being human. And I don't want to say imperfect, because to me, all of the stuff that you're feeling that you say is mistakes, not perfect, is perfect and beautiful if you can embrace it. That's your job, to be comfortable with all of your humanity and say, okay, take a look. Why? Not because I'm proud and I'm better than you, but because we're all the same. And I can maybe help you if I show you how I can let it move inside of me, then maybe you can do that too. We can stop hating each other, and we can stop being miserable, and we can stop exploding each other, and et cetera, et cetera. So that's the job that you do as an actor. So maybe you want to pay attention to that, Nina, and do some purging about that, which is, it seems that you have a fear that's come up twice now and that we've addressed already that has to do with what would people think if they saw me as I really am. And this is the job we're trying to do. We're going to make sure that you can be who you really are and that as many people as possible can see you. And that's what's being an actor. And that's the first ingredient you need, is that you want to be watched. If you do not want to be watched, then it might be another job that's not acting. You know what I mean? So maybe do some purging about that. And maybe if that's still affecting you, make sure you bring it in the next Q&A, and then let's talk about it. Okay? All right. The second question is about the essences. It's going in.
Actually, Joe?
Yeah?
It's you say I already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I can't just. It's so funny because I arrived 1-2 minutes ago when you.
And I moved, so I have different windows. So I moved the Zoom window that way so I could only see half of Debbie and half of Christina. And
it's nice because I felt really that you're talking to me, and I didn't know that you're not seeing that I arrived.
No, I'm sorry.
It's just funny because actually you say I mentioned it a second time. Actually, I wrote it this question that you were reading. I wrote it the first day, directly when like 10 days ago I wrote it. So in the last Q&A we had, it was already there. It was yeah. But at the same time, it was very good that you answered for a second time because it is still there.
It is still there.
And it makes me even laugh. I mean, I also wrote this paranoia thing, but it's it goes a bit like, I didn't dare, but the last time I was Q&A question, I had this question a bit this being actress and not actress and the thing. So, but it's just you answered.
Perfect. Okay.
I mean, it's good. It's
okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that
this about the group. It's just I think it's really a nice thing because about this fear, the paranoia is not only this thing about who could see that and who I am really, but it's rather it's more this this strange fear about being bothering the other, like if you are too loud and that's this smiling stuff also. So to try to be so nice that you're not bothering the other, and this is really nice feeling within this group, or within doing this group together and doing it live, is that it's just everybody gives, and then it's not at all bothering me when others give. So it's quite nice.
Yeah, and that's what you have to offer, Nina. You're a very beautiful soul and gentle and not bothering, and you're smiling and you're kind and you're all of that. And you're not just all of that. You're beautiful power. There's rage inside of you and sadness, and all of that is what you have to offer to your character, right? So, and we've seen it. We've seen little bits that come out, and then you're like, oh no, but what if the neighbors hear me? Or what are people going to think? So that vibe is what you bring to the part so far, is I can only do it a certain way because the other way will disturb people. But the other way is authentic, and it's never going to disturb anyone. Yeah, some people are going to like your work. Some people are not going to like your work. Like you like some actors and you don't like some others. And that's fine. Does it mean they're good or bad? No. No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to tell me the second question? I'm sorry that I didn't see this. The first Q&A, it was empty when I looked. So maybe there's 2 documents.
No, if I could just a thing is, yesterday, now at the moment I'm working in Lucerne, so I'm here with my parents. So actually in Geneva it was the neighbors, and then I already told you I love it when it gets loud. But I had this thing about, oh my God, and I already told them, and I really asked them, because you told me tell them again, and they told me no, we really didn't hear. And then once we heard a little bit from the toilet, and they said but it was funny, okay. And then I have these little kids, and like I told you, I was afraid that I might disturb, but I was really loud, and they were laughing. Okay, now yesterday when we did this really wonderful exercise, I was getting really loud, and then my mother, she came in, and she said, oh, but what are the neighbors thinking?
Mm-hmm, of course.
And it was really annoying. So this might be a question. I mean, there are moments in life where here, I mean, it's okay. She's also just in her thing. So when we cannot, I mean, if we are in a set or in a theater, and we can actually, we have this what is it? Envie in English. Envie desire, yes. Yeah. Desire to be loud. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes in life, so in a theater, maybe other people are, in a set, you can not always be loud. And this was just a concrete question, how to feel the desire to be loud when you are in a situation where it's not possible.
And then we will see that in the journey, we will, at one point towards the end, we will challenge you more to find your freedom in a very confined space where you can't move and you can't be loud. For example, Christina today was working on being fully free and expressed, but not using her voice at all because she can't use her voice for the moment. So we will do that. But the direct answer is, if I want to be loud, let's say I'm doing a sound of movement or tapping or whatever, and I have like stuff that wants to come out, it came out.
Okay.
You heard me. You know what I mean?
But not being frustrated, because when the desire is there to be loud, it might be a bit. So it's
and that's still okay. You can have a session and be loud, and then go see your mom's neighbors and say, "I'm so sorry. I'm an actress. I was training, and I'm not sure if you heard, but this is what I'm doing, just so you know." Okay. And that's fine, right? Because when you are an artist outside of the context of this training, you will do things that some people won't like, and it will disturb them. And that's fine. You're not responsible for their reactions. They're supposed to be people who can handle their own life and emotions and reactions. You might trigger something, but you're not responsible for them being traumatized by it. That's on them, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And then you were asking about the essences. We worked on already?
Yeah, it was just a question about, like, what was it? Yeah, you told me during the session, you told me, for instance, honest and transparent, and I was not sure anymore. Okay. You said if there is, you can check which one is rather in the three, or you can see if there is one in the other already, you know, like, and then I was just not sure if I understood it. Okay. You said about honest and transparent, so do I put, so I wasn't sure if you said for being honest, you have to be transparent, or the other way around. So I wanted just to check, to ask you again. But this actually, two of them are possible.
When that's it. Exercise, I'm suggesting some feedback. You guys hear feedback? No, it's gone now. When you go into your essences, I might think transparent involves honesty, and you might think for you honesty is involved in transparent, and that's it. It's just, I was just showing you how to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do we have any more questions? Yes, Christina. Not really a question, but I haven't done the $2 exercise. I just really don't want to do it. Had an opportunity to do it yesterday in the street, but just didn't want to do it, and have been thinking I get to choose whether I do this or not. I don't want to be forced to do something I don't want to do. I know. I'm not going to force you, right? Obviously, I can't get in there and make you do it. By the way, where are you, Christina? Where do you live? Are you in London? No, I see you, but I mean, in which city are you?
LA.
Oh, you are in LA. Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm not going to make you do it. And if anything that we have done so far is of value to you and you want to do the journey and you trust me for bringing stuff that works, I promise you that it's amazing. And I promise you that what it's triggering inside of you is what you're dealing with outside when you're working. So it's, what do other people think of me? That's not an appropriate thing to do, and therefore I'm not going to be inappropriate. And as an actress, you want to make sure that you are, whatever it is, appropriate or inappropriate, and that you're never doing anything because of the impact that it will have on others, right? So it's funny the way you wrote it, right? Because yeah, I can't force you, but I can promise you, I can really promise you that it's an extraordinary exercise. And it's like something that you have to get to the other side of it to get it, that at what you're going to muscle with it, because it really isn't, okay, I finally managed to do it once. That's it. I'm done. It won't do anything. It really is do it 10 times a day, because then what you're muscling is your capacity to be in touch forever with what I am going to generate is what matters for my satisfaction and happiness. It is not dependent on what other things. And by the way, when I generate my own freedom, I do create some satisfaction on the other side. So it gets you out of the people-pleasing wiring. And it's a big one because we've been raised with it, right? So it's not something you will stop doing by just understanding, okay, I have to stop people-pleasing. That doesn't get me anywhere. I just have to, get satisfaction from being who I am. We all get that. But your wiring will not get it until you prove it that, yes, you can hit fulfillment every single time, no matter what's out there. Pleasure comes from inside, not from what anyone gives you or any validation that you get. And I know you get it, and you won't get it until you do it. That's kind of the coaching. But thanks for being transparent with it. And I think that you might want to, in the following purging exercises, you want to bring that, as a something, because it's showing you what the $2 exercise is doing is it's bringing up in a very graphic way the resistance you have everywhere else. So yeah, you see it, so you know what to address. Yeah. Yes, Debbie?
On the $2 exercise, I had a question, because I tend, what's my question? When I start to, I move in, there's people, whatever, but when it's like I do it, and then suddenly, it's like I'm having fun, and then it's like, oh, I start thinking of things, or it's like, oh, I see that person down there, and because that's a person, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna ask him, but my mind has already started to almost create things. Do I just reject that and because that doesn't feel like freedom? It feels like, oh wait, now I'm.
Well, if you see a man and he triggers something, then it has to do with what's happening in the moment with that person, with your listening of that person, right? With your listening of the moment. If it's planning ahead, that's something different, and that you would have the same plan no matter who is in front.
Okay, got it.
So you see the guy and you want to ask him, run to him, run to him. And that might be the first impulse if you want to go with him. But yeah, try to distinguish planning from this was stimulated by when I looked at him, and then that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then my last question was regarding the accountability part. How do you see that working, or what? I know you kind of wrote about, but How does?
Yeah, that's fine. So you wanna so you are with Christina and you're both in LA, so that's great. Doesn't mean that you need to see each other, but it means you can rely on each other and connect with each other. You can exchange phone numbers or just Facebook messaging or whatever, WhatsApp, whatever you want to use. And you could, if you love accountability, you can check on each other every day. Did you do your homework? Are you going to do your $2? Like Christina could ask you, can you please call me every day about this and make sure that I do it? And you could ask Debbie, Christina, to make sure that that when you do your homework, your purging, that you're not good enough. I don't know, whatever it is that you need, you can ask. So what accountability does is, let me give you an example, a stupid one. So now I'm completely exposed. So I wanted to do some, not dieting because I don't have a weight problem, but I wanted to kind of eat healthier and get fitter because I love the vitality that comes when I'm fitter. And I am not very good at not eating sweet stuff. And so a friend of mine said, hey, I'm doing this Weight Watchers app, which is like Weight Watchers. I was like, that's for dinosaurs. That's like 100 years ago. She's like, no, it's super modern. There's an app and you put in some points every day. So Weight Watchers works like every food has an amount of points. And you tell them how much you weigh now, how much you want to weigh, how much exercise you do. And they tell you how many points you can eat a day. And so you wake up in the morning, you go in your app, and in my case, I eat acai smoothies every morning. So I know how many points that is. I put my points in, and you count them, and you cannot eat, I don't know, I think I have 23 points a day, right? So if I eat more than my 23 points, it means the next day I have less than 23 points to eat. But if I don't eat any points in the morning, and there's stuff that doesn't count as points, like chicken, eggs, anything with no fat is 0 points. I can eat 0 points during the whole day. And then at night, I can go crazy and drink alcohol and eat desserts, all, So what the app does is it's holding me accountable, right? Because I have to put my points all the time. If not, I don't know what I've eaten and what I can eat. And so I did that for a month and it was great. I was like, oh my God, I feel so much more vital and I lost some weight and I'm training and boom, boom, boom. And then I was like, cool, I can do this. I don't need to put in my stupid points anymore because I know the points of what I eat. So I don't need to count them anymore. Let's not use the app anymore. And I stopped doing it because no one is holding me accountable. No one is checking on me. And so you do one exception and then 2 and then 3 and then your life is an exception, right? And so I stopped doing all the eating healthy, all the working out, and had to get back on the app to keep me accountable. And it's just a stupid thing. I just say what I've done, but the app is waiting for me to put the points. If I don't put the points, it screws up all the next days. So that's what you can do for each other. If you know that someone is pulling you into being accountable, you'll have a tendency to show up for that. And if no one's checking, then what the heck? No one knows, right? So it's just a little psychological help. And some people won't use it, and that's fine too, but if you fall off track, if you want to quit, if you need some support about a precise exercise, then you reach out.
Yes.
Or to the group, right? The Facebook group is still a little quiet, but it's going to get more and more present. People are more and more going to dare to go in there and say, what do I do? Help me. And then you guys will support each other. And that actually helps. It does.
I have a question about the whys. So
yes.
How do I know the why is exactly my deep why? And
so when you get to the 7th one, do you feel that something's happened? Is it moving you? Does it feel like you've discovered something?
Well, I've done the whys upon watching the videos. So I was trying to do it, but I guess I'll have to do it again.
Yeah, if you feel like you didn't land anywhere, do it again and really take the time before to breathe a couple times, to really be present, to be in your body more than in your head, right? To really be there. And just ask yourself the first time, why do I act? And then ask yourself 6 times, why is that important to me? Why is that important to me? And never answer from a logical point. Discover what your answer will be. Just really ask yourself, even if it's obvious, right? But let's say I act because it makes me happy. Why is that important for me? You might say, well, of course it's important to be happy, and what else, you know? Don't go there. Really ask yourself, why is it important for me to be happy in this lifetime? And let's see what comes out. And you do that 6 times after the first why.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Are we good? Yeah?
Yes. So we can exchange with the accountability partner. So this is something I actually needed 2 days ago. I was like, I need help. I don't know how
And
to
if
do.
your accountability partner is not there, go in the Facebook group, right? And ask, is anyone there? Can anyone help me? And then see who answers, or put just your question. Like Ophelia has been struggling with the $2, and she's gotten huge support from everyone. Because everyone deals with the same problems, more or less, right? One shape or another. Oh, I think we have a connection issue maybe with everyone. No. I don't know with Christina because she doesn't talk anymore, so I'm not sure if she's frozen or not. Okay, we're good. All right. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.